Shalom. Before we get started, like always, all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to Apostle of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the Yakim out there pushing this truth and sincerity. And this is for the hopefully elect out there. This video is going to be called Reward for Esau and the Heathen Gentiles. And we're going to see what reward Esau is going to receive and what these the Gentiles are going to receive. The natural Gentiles, the Heathens Gentiles. Not the Israelite foreigners who are living like Gentiles. Well, what they're going to receive in the end. All right, and we're going to start off with which I always call, and I consider this is just one of the basic milk scriptures and a classic. It's in the last book in the Revelations. It's Revelations 13, and we're going to start at 9 through 10. If any man have an ear, let him hear. Verse 10, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here's the patience and faith of the saints. Now here it is, the Lord said, if any man have an ear, let me, if you hear and you can get understanding, listen up. He that leadeth into captivity, who led the so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans into captivity, so-called Esau, aka white man, the Caucasian, right? He that led into captivity shall go into captivity. So that's going to be your reward. Just desserts. You're going to go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. So who's gunning down? Who's killing the so-called blacks, Latino, Native Americans down in the streets? Police killings. Through history, as you looked at the murder and mayhem that was done on this continent towards the Native American Indians, the Northern Kingdom. Who killed the millions of people? If we're not even counting Israel, let's even look at these other heathen nations who's going around bombing indiscriminately, just killing. All right. So he that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. So he's going to be killed with the sword. Here's the patience and faith of the saints. And who are the saints? The saints are the Israelites. So Esau, you got to pay, because you haven't paid. You're still running around doing the same thing you've been doing for the past couple hundred years, couple centuries. All right, let's go to precept on there. Let's go to Exodus 21:16. And he that stealeth a man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death. So who stole the so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans? Matter of fact, let's start. Who stole the so-called Negroes off the west coast of Africa and brought them to America to put them into slavery? Hey, so-called white man. Well, not generally the so-called white man, and we're gonna stop using white man. We're going Esau. You're Esau. It was the Hamites, the true Africans, who gathered up Israelites, two dark-skinned of people of different races, of ethnicity. Just because you're dark-skinned, that doesn't mean you're all the same people. Because you've got Pakistani who's just as dark. You got East Indians just as dark or darker than so-called Negroes, but you don't see them call themselves black. So you have so-called Hamites, true Africans, who gathered up and knew the difference between them and the Israelites, and sold them onto Esau, Edom. You had Ishmael, who are the so-called Arabs, who built the ships. All right, and he that stealeth a man. And so we were stolen off the west coast of Africa and selleth them. We so-called Negroes was auctioned off on the auction block. That the first commodity to be sold on over there in New York with Wall Street was the so-called slaves. That was the beginning of New York Stock Exchange. Or if he be found in his hand, he should surely be put to death. And here it is, almost 500 years later, we're still here. The descendants of the so-called slaves who was brought to the Americas, West Indies, South America, and don't get it twisted, the so-called natives, so they did the same thing to the Native American Indians and the so-called Hispanics. And Hispanics, they gathered them up and shipped them over to the Europe, and they were sold also. So he shall surely be put to death. So you're going to get put to death for what you have done. There's no, it's nothing you can do about it. You've got to pay. You haven't paid. Esau, you haven't paid, and you've got to pay for it. So you put us in hardcore bondage. Esau did some horrendous things to our people. So surely, you've got to pay for that too. You've got to pay. And we're going to go into the book of Lamentations. This is Lamentations 4:21. Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwellest in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass through unto thee. Thou shalt surely be drunken, and shalt make thyself naked. Verse 22. The punishment of thine iniquities is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thy iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins. So here it is. The Lord is telling you, Edomites, you need to enjoy it up right now. Because quietness is trying to be kept. This is your kingdom. And this is your kingdom. Edomites, this is your kingdom. You should be, if you ain't got no money, and you're an Edomite, you're going to be a two-time loser. In the kingdom, when the kingdom of heaven comes, you're no longer going to be sitting up top. You're going to be in hardcore bondage and slavery. So you should be, right now, you should be living it up, partying up. You should be maxing out the credit cards, doing whatever you can. You should be having all the fun you can, because it's slowly coming to an end. Because here it is, America is $19 trillion plus in debt. Illinois right now, they can't even, as far as paying for the pensions for their people. America is slowly crumbling. Here it is, if I'm correct, the Chinese yuan, petro, their dollars, which is backed by gold, is supposed to be coming online this month, coming up in April. That's backed by gold. Unlike the U.S. petrodollar, which is not backed by nothing. It's petro backed by oil. People are getting away from that. They're going to wanting to be, money is supposed to be backed by something of substance, of precious metals, and that petrol ain't it. So your economy is crashing. It's going down the drain. It's circling the drain right now. So right now, you Edomites should be partying up. The cup shall also pass through unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken, and thou shalt make thyself naked. What's that cup? That cup is that cup of slavery. Just like we drank that cup of slavery. Israel drank that cup of slavery. Yeah, we had wicked people. We had wicked Israelites, and we had good Israelites. Decent. I shouldn't say good, because there's none good. Decent who weren't as wicked as the other, the 2/3. But we all collectively went into captivity. Our kings, our priests, we all went into captivity. What makes you think if the Lord is going to put his own people into captivity, you don't think that there's going to be no recompense for that? You must be surely out your mind. The punishment of thine iniquities is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. That's because this is the last captivity of Israel. This is the very last. After this, when this is over, when the Lord comes and puts an end to this kingdom, he's going to establish the kingdom of heaven, where Israel will be joint rulers with Yahushua. The 1/3, the elected 1/3, but 2/3 of our people are going to be destroyed. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins. Yes, he's going to come visit Edom, and you're going to see, and they're going to get their just rewards for that. You can't you can't just do wickedness and think you're going to get away with it. People are just, I don't understand it. They think you could just do all wickedness and all manners of things and just get away with it and think nothing is going to happen or was going to happen to you. But you have to pay. All right, let's go. We're going to go into the book of Jeremiah. All right. Excuse me. We're going to go into Jeremiah 49, chapter 49. Because everything that's going to happen, that the Lord says is going to happen, is going to happen. His word does not come back void. This is a book of prophecy, and whatever the Lord said is going to happen, it's going to happen. There's nothing you can do about it. This is Jeremiah 49 and 12. For thus says the Lord, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have surely drunken, and now thou that shalt altogether go unpunished, thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt surely drink of it. So who was that was not supposed to drink of the cup? Israel was not supposed to drink of the cup. That was the people we were supposed to have been ruling righteously and inherit the kingdom, altogether. But you know what? In order for you to rule righteously, you got to know what wickedness is. So this is this entire thing that's been going down for the past few thousand years of the multiple captivities for Israel is for Israel to learn and see what wickedness is. So when we get the kingdom, and we will appreciate and understand righteousness. But like it says in Jeremiah 49:12, for thus says the Lord, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have surely drunk. So we drank that cup of slavery. And we drank this bitter cup that Esau gave us when we came here in this final captivity here. This was a bitter cup to swallow. Like I said, a bitter pill. The way we was treated and all the atrocities that was done to our people, and it's still constantly being done to our people. And now thou shalt altogether go unpunished. So here it is, the Lord punished his own people. He says Israel is his son. What makes you think you heathens and you Gentiles are not going to get punished for what you've done? If the Lord punishes his own people, you don't think he's going to punish the wicked? Surely you must be mistaken. All right. Let's go to we're jumping around. What you're supposed to do here, here and there, line upon line, precept upon precept, line upon line. And it's clear for a lot of people saying, "Oh, I understand how that's supposed to be. How we're going to. I don't believe in that." How you going to think you're going to? You can't pick and choose what you want to believe in. It's either all or nothing. And that's how it is. We're going to go book of Ezekiel, chapter 25, and we're going to start at 10, and we're going to go through 14. Slacking. We're going to start at 12. Thus says the Lord God, because that Edom hath dwelt against the house of Judah by taking vengeance, and they greatly offended and revenge himself upon thee. Verse 13. Therefore thus says the Lord God, I will also stretch out my hand upon Edom, and will cut off man and beast from it. I will make it desolate from Teman, and they of the Dan shall fall by the sword. And will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel, and they shall do to Edom, and they shall do in Edom according to mine anger and according to my fury, and they shall know my vengeance, says the Lord God. So let's look at this. And thus says the Lord God, because that Edom hath dealt against the house of Judah, they take vengeance, and they have greatly offended, and revenge himself upon thee. These Edomites, they have dealt against the house of Judah, these so-called Negroes, and the way they treated us, it was just, and not just not us, Judah, also, Northern Kingdom too. They took their vengeance, and let's just look at the history of what Esau has done to us. The Trail of Tears, feeding our kids to alligator bait, just the brutal savagery of slavery, of what was done to us, so-called Negroes in the South, the so-called buck breaking, and all this stuff that went down, the quartering of men tied to ropes to parts of a man and slapping the horse and having him being ripped apart, the lynchings and hangings of so-called blacks, and burning up the body, cutting off the man's genitals and putting it in his mouth, things like this. The just pure brutality that Esau has done. It was in his heart to do it. Hath greatly offended and revenged himself against it. He wanted to get revenge. Why did this man want to get revenge? Because it all boils down to the promises and the blessings that Jacob received, which is the kingdom of heaven. He thought that he was robbed, but you sold, and it was already written that the elder shall serve the younger. So you wasn't going to inherit it anyway, because you're just not right. Your soul is not upright in you, as it says in if I'm correct, Habakkuk chapter 2, if I'm correct. Therefore, this 13, Therefore thus says the Lord God, I will also stretch out my hand upon Edom, cut off man and beast from it, and will make it desolate from Teman, and they of Dedan shall fall by the sword. And so, the Lord says he's going to stretch out his hand upon Edom and cut off man and beast. So it's going to be the Lord's going to do a lot of it's going to be a lot of killing that's going to be done upon Edom. There's a lot of things that's going to happen. The Lord is going to cut you off, man and beast. So that's you. Edom is the only, as was said in the Bible dictionary, that will get no kind of mercy from Yahweh Shem Yahshua. You're the only one, no mercy, because the scripture said that you are the wicked. Verse 14, I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel. So the Lord is going to use Israel to lay his vengeance on Edom. And it said that they shall do in Edom according to mine anger and according to my fury, and they shall know my vengeance, saith the Lord. So there's going to be some things done to you that normally Jake ain't going to be able to do, but the Lord is going to put that spirit in us to do what he wants us to be done to Esau. Not just Esau, to these other heathen nations. All you are, don't get it twisted. Esau, you're going to have some company too. You're gonna have all these other heathen nations that was along with you that helped you do what you did. You know, so you can't duck that out. So right now you probably hearing some people be like, well, they wasn't there. They didn't have nothing to do. That was a long time ago. That was in the past, and everything, and this and that. And I didn't have no slaves. But let's see what it says in Isaiah. This is Isaiah 14 and 21. Prepare a slaughter for his children, for the iniquities of their father, that they do not rise nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities. Verse 22. For I rise up against them, says the Lord of hosts, and cut off from Babylon the name and remnant and son and nephew, says the Lord. So there it says, the Lord said, prepare a slaughter for the children, for the iniquities of their fathers, for what your father has done. You children have to pay for it. But what you don't understand, there's this thing called what you call reincarnation. Every third or fourth generation, you come back. So you are your father's coming back in the third and fourth generation, and you've got to pay. It's just like if you and your son go out to dinner, or your mother and daughter, y'all go out to dinner. You'll order up a great meal. Y'all both eat well. You drank. You full, and you tell your child, hold on, I gotta go use the restroom just right there, and then you bail out on your child. Who you think is going to be held with that bill? Who you think is going to be held accountable for that? Your child is going to be held accountable for it. So you got to build America. Esau, you racked up a tab for the past few centuries. And when the Lord comes, it's coming to collect on that tab. You can't do anything about it. You're going to have to pay that tab. All right? And it said, and so they not rise or possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities. So when I come, you're no longer going to build your cities, your skyscrapers. You ain't going to be able to fill the faces of the world no more when Yahweh Hashem comes back with his son, Yahweh Shai, in all his glory, to take you down and take these other nations down, to put you in subjection, and you're going to be underneath the heel, underneath the feet of the children of Israel. Verse 22, for I will rise up against them, says the Lord of hosts, and cut off from Babylon the name and remnant and son and nephew, says the Lord. So he's going to cut you off. Name of Esau is not going to be in remembrance after y'all serve your 1,000 years of slavery. We're going to cut you off. There's going to be no name, no remnant, son or nephew. So there ain't going to be nothing left of you, because thus says the Lord. All right. Let's go to Jeremiah. This is Jeremiah 30 and 60. It's like Jeremiah 30 and 16. Therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity, and they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. So, who devoured us? Esau devoured us. Definitely Esau devoured us heavily up here in America. But we were scattered across the four winds. So even other countries, they have the children of Israel scattered all over the four corners of the world and in captivity. So, but the majority is here in the Americas. And all that adversaries, who's our adversary? All these other nations. Esau, which is Edom, Ham, you Hamites, you Africans, you gathered us up. Ishmael, you so-called Arabs, you built the ships. You so-called Amalek, you You had something to do. You financed the slave trade. And all these other nations, Moab, Ammon, etc., Elam, you knew who we were, and you did not say anything. You did not come and say anything. Be like, no, not these people. These are the children of the Most High. You didn't say anything. So just like if you go rob a bank, and you just a driver, and you didn't have nothing to do with the gun running into the bank, you're accessory to the crime. So you're going to be charged accordingly. So also all these other nations that's on the face of the earth outside of Israel, y'all are all accessories to the crime. Plus, you all had us in captivity anyway when you look through the scriptures. Everyone had a piece of us in captivity at one point in time. So every one of them you're going to go into captivity. And they that spoil thee shall be a spoil. So who spoils us? When you go into our neighborhoods, you see the Chinese who are the Moabites. They got their hair store, the nail store. They coming up on us. They got maybe have a liquor store, dry cleaners. You got the Arabs. They getting some of us too. You got these, thank you, come again, the red dot there guys, the East Indians, Elam, they getting in peace. All these other nations are coming in, and they come, why they set up shop in the so-called black community? Because they getting rich off of us. They're devouring us. They're preying upon us and getting rich off us. So that's what's going on. Don't have too much time. So we're going to go into the book Isaiah. This is Isaiah 45 and 14. Thus says the Lord, the labor of Egypt and the merchandise of Ethiopia and the Sabian men of stature shall come over unto thee, and they shall be thine. They shall come after thee in chains. They shall come over, and they shall fall down shall fall down unto thee. They shall make supplication unto thee, saying, surely God is in thee, and there is none else. There is no God. So here comes these Egyptians. They're going into slavery too. They're going to come in supplication. They're going to come down back. Oh, mercy. Oh, mercy. They're going to be begging for mercy from us. Because, wow, we're going to have all these other nations. Israel's going to have these other nations in hardcore bondage. When I say hardcore, I mean hardcore. We're going to rule them with a rod of iron. And they're going to understand, and they're going to understand who we are. And don't think there ain't no coming back up after that. Because we're going to rule forever and ever. All right? And that's how it's going to be. It's not going to be no mercy. Let's go Zephaniah 2 and 12. Ye Ethiopians, also you shall be slain by my sword. So the Lord is saying these Ethiopians, they're going to be slain by the sword. Yeah, we have some of our people that scattered might be amongst them, but the majority of them are getting slain. Because you know what? Those Ethiopians, Cush, those used to be the Babylonians. They're gonna be slain. So why you come talking about you got these Ethiopian Jews? The Philistines, right? Let me see if I can squeeze one more in. I don't know if I'm going to be able to, but let's go with, we're going to the book of Isaiah. We're going to start Isaiah chapter 14. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave unto the house of Jacob. And the people shall take them and bring them into their own place. And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. and they shall take them captives, who captives they were, and that shall rule over their oppressors. All right. Let's go in verse 3. And it shall come to pass in the day of the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow and from thy fear and from the hard bondage wherein thou hast made to serve. So here it is. The Lord says when He's come, He's going to put Israel in their own land, in the land, and that's going to be the land of Israel, because those people, those Israelis, they Edomites too. Don't be fooled. They aren't the people, those people. All right. And He shall put us in that place. And Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for service and handmaid. For service and handmaid. There's going to be the strangers when we come back, when we're going to go back in the land. We're going to have these other heathen nations. They're going to be service and handmaids. And thou shalt take them captives, whose captives they were, and that shall rule over their oppressors. So who's the only people there being oppressed on this land, on this earth? You know, who's being oppressed here in America? So-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans. And when you go into other parts of the world, I think it's in India. You've got the I forgot what they call Dalit, which was basically the untouchables. Well, more likely those are Israelites too, in the caste system on the very bottom of society. Wherever you around the world, and you got the people that's on the very bottom of their society, being treated like shit, being oppressed, more than likely they're the Israelites. And so we're going to rule over those of our oppressors. All right? And it shall come pass in that day the Lord shall give thee rest. So we're going to have rest in that day. Because while we're going to have these heathens are going to do our bidding, we're going to rule over them. They're going to build up our homes. They're going to build up the kingdom. That's what they're going to do. That's going to be their job. Taking care of everything for us. And the Lord shall give us rest from thy sorrow, from thy fear, from the hard bondage where they had to serve. What fear and what sorrow? The fear, you don't know if this police pulling me over, if you're going to get shot or killed, you got to worry about your kids being out here, what's going to happen to them. That's going to come to an end. All right. Let's go to. I didn't think I was going to be able to try to hurry up and try to get most of all of these in, but this is going to be the last one. Isaiah 61.